Welcome to SEO Conspiracy.com. This is your alternative search news for week 30 of 2020. Let's dive in. First of all, I would like to apologize for the sound. I have to record this with the internal microphone of my MacBook, not my usual microphone. And let's start with the not so important news. Search metrics. What is the correlation between EPS, earning per share, and SEO? Love search metrics. Appreciate Doug Bell. Appreciate what you guys do. How can I put it? Where is it gonna stop? This whole studies that goes nowhere. The only thing that I appreciate of this is that, yes, it shows that it's important to do some SEO. That companies that are good with SEO are earning more money. Outside of this, I'll tell you in a couple of seconds why this is getting out of hands, all those studies. And the next study is from Lingraph's CTO Manik Ban. And 1,000 ranking factors, how Google finds signals through the noise. And explain how machine learning is helping us better understand how Google finds and evaluates content quality signals. Did they crack the code? Did they find out what was the secret sauce? Well, first of all, I would like to understand how they can take into account SEO myth, like the mod domain authority, which is total nonsense, and they give that a very high value. Otherwise, what did they find out? Amazing. They found out, let me find the summary of this thing. Okay, higher quality content, fast, snappy user experiences, and increasing site authority and reputation. Wow. So, in other words, you have all those studies. It's basically just clickbait, trying to sell us something that we know already. And like we've said again and again with Dixon Jones, with Bill Swalski, with Christine Schesinger, with Judith Lewis, with real high-level SEO experts, you can't find any real findings upon correlation of those studies. If all the Nobel Prizes eat chocolate, it doesn't mean that if you eat chocolate, you will become a Nobel Prize. Okay? So, the other day I put down a comment on some YouTube video by Ahrefs that was talking about domain authority and saying, oh, take domain authority with a grain of salt. No, please don't. Let's try to save what is salvageable from all this nonsense. And SEO Conspiracy was built on the idea of debunking all those myths. I'm just tired of people clickbaiting studies on nonsense. And the next news I wanted to show you is a website you need to bookmark. It has nothing to do with SEO or digital marketing. If you, it's tylervigan.com /spurious correlations. But if you just search for spurious correlations, you will find all those fascinating facts about, for example, how there's a correlation between US spending on science, space, and technology and suicide by hanging, strangulations, and suffocation. Exact same lines. The number of people drowned by falling into a pool and the number of films Nicolas Cage appeared in. Same. Let's find another one. The age of Miss America correlates with the murders by steam, hot vapors, and hot objects. Amazing. Okay, do you start to see the picture here? Per capita consumption of mozzarella cheese correlates with civil engineering doctorates awarded. Okay, it's the same exact thing that all these people are trying to sell you. It's complete BS. Do not believe one word of any of these studies. I did in the past. I did. I regret it. But you gotta evolve. And trust me on this one. And I can take anyone who did one of these studies, and we'll talk. If they are brave enough, they contact me and we will debunk their atrocious study. You have two ways to do it. One way, you search for something, you take right, and you will find the correlation, or you take left and you don't know where you're going. You don't even know if you are going to find something. But of course, it's not helping these people because they can't publish a study if they don't find anything. So they need to find correlations. But it won't help you in doing any SEO or digital marketing for that matter. Okay, let's move on. Next, very important news, a company called OpenAI. It's not a small company, it's a big one. And you can now request access to their API for basically a new model of text generation, a new level of text generation that supposedly is fooling everyone. GPT-3, that's the name of the API. And the little I saw blew my mind. Really, for real. I saw some stuff that just even some how can I explain it? Some demonstration or on how in that API was able to build in an app on just text, random text saying, "Hey, I want this app to do this," and then boom, the app was built. So that is to follow it very closely. Why? Because automated text is used for black hat SEO, but also used for the press, and it's putting in jeopardy the real job of a real human writer. Do we still need human writer? This is a topic of the video I need to do. I've done some in French, but I need to do in English, where I prove that the text that I generate automatically is of better quality for Google than a text written by human. So we need to ask ourselves some serious questions here. And from what I see here, it's going to another insane level where you will not be able to tell if it's a machine or a human writing a text, for sure. OpenAPI.com, check it out. Next in the news, it's becoming insane. It's a tweet by Rachel Loeney and Hi John Moo, an external website, has quoted me and linked to my site. Their article was then republished across multiple lower authority blogs and included my quote plus link, but did not follow proper rel canonical tags. My website then get dinged for suspicious link patterns. The scare of link building is out of hands, and the response from Mr. John Mueller is, I'm pretty sure none of this is mentioned in our webmaster guidelines. Is there something specific worried about which we mention in the webmaster guidelines? Just because links are placed without your input doesn't make them bad. It usually makes them good even. Well, Mr. John Mueller, I know you refuse to talk to me. I know I don't exist for you, but it's your fault, okay? It's your fault if people are so scared of links. It is 100% your fault. So maybe respond accordingly instead of taking that person for a fool, because you are spreading the word that backlinks are evil, and you are doing all this work to build this framework where links must be earned. And I remind you that you don't know how to build great content that deserves links. You've never done it. You don't know how to do it. You are not qualified to do it. But still, a lot of people listen to you, and a lot of people are now. This is extreme, but it's the truth, and will do everything in my power, my little small little power, my little world, to fight you, to fight all the Googlers who are lying to the public, because this is wrong. This is very wrong what you're doing. It's very wrong what you're doing to propagate this nonsense about the fact that links must be earned and not organically, that you can't even push people or incite people or motivate people to building for towards your content. And when someone is scared to have links, then the answer is just I don't know. I don't know who you think you are, but just know that I don't agree, and this is 100% wrong, ethically, technically, and politically wrong. Next, okay, Google Search Liaison. Thank you for telling us that the comment site column didn't work. It is okay. Supposedly they fixed it, but it is still a problem because most of the operators are used by professionals like myself, and I'm really afraid that they will go away little by little. I'm really afraid because the link command disappeared, the info command disappeared, the site command sometimes work, doesn't work. In URL command doesn't work so well. All in URL, all of them. Just, it's really funny that all the operators that SEOs and digital marketers need seem to work less and less. But at least thank you for communicating that it was not working and that you fixed it. But it doesn't take away the scare that we won't have any operators one day. I think they will all disappear little by little. Next news. The mobile first index with a little extra time on the Google Webmaster Central blog. My point of view is that they wanted to start over. They realized that the main index was a big mess. Please go check out the video about the main index versus the supplemental index on SEO Conspiracy Podcast to understand that, well, it's not so easy. It's not so easy. And now they did want to make a proper index for the mobile first. It was supposed to be released in September 2020, and now the time frame is moved towards March 2021. I don't know about you guys, but what I see around me is most of the SEOs don't even know what's going on with mobile. They don't take it seriously enough. And it's going to bite you if you don't prepare for. If you don't prepare, if you're not ready for mobile, unless I've been on Mars, look around you. Everybody is on mobile. I'm on markets where it's not mobile first, it's mobile only. They only use mobiles, they only use smartphones. And what I see around me in Europe is, yeah, sure, mobile. I only have 60-70% of web traffic coming from a mobile device. Yeah, I still have my website um, made for desktop, made on the desktop, and responsive for mobile. Well, listen to this, guys. For a while now, I've been doing mobile websites that are responsive for desktop. The other way around, and it's a totally different mindset to build a website for mobile that will also appear properly on the desktop. Think about it. Food for thought. AppleBot. Support Apple is teaching us a little bit more about AppleBot, the web crawler for Apple. Yeah, if you have Spotlight, Siri, some tools by Google. Google doesn't have a search engine, but there is a web crawler, and it's interesting to see that it's not so much different than any other web crawler at the end of the day. Apple Search may take the following into account when ranking web search results. Aggregated user engagement with search results. That's kind of like pogo sticking. Relevancy and matching of search terms to web page topics and content. Number and quality of links from other pages on the web. PageRank, user location-based signals, in quote, approximated data, and then web page design characteristics. And what's interesting here is that, well, maybe there are some variations, and of course there are some variations amongst all the different search engines, but they all look for the same goal. They're all going towards the same direction. That's what's interesting here. Next news, fact check. If you go on developers.google.com, you will find a new reference for developers about claim review. That is very, very important, because in this whole structured data debate, well, it always comes back to, is the information reliable or not? It's one thing to have structured data, but can the search engine trust that data, and can we trust it? It all goes back to the source. So yeah, claim review, I think is one step forward to make this information that is displayed on the web a little more appropriate, a little more safe to trust. I don't think it's perfect, but at least it's one step forward. So thank you, Google, for this claim review structured data. Next, more Google news on blog.google. If you are in the finance industry, in the credit, if you are into the mortgage industry, beware, because Google is calculating your estimated payments, and like many other industries before this, well, refinancing is taking a beating because Google is becoming a answer. not a search. It's giving you answers directly, and it's helping you directly find information about refinancing and mortgage. And once I see this, the whole industry is dead. Okay, it happened for sports, happened for weather, happened for flights. Don't insist. If you are into the mortgage, the refinancing, beware. Go elsewhere. But game is done on Google, in my opinion, of course. You can prove me wrong. And finally, TikTok. I think TikTok is playing with the US. Check this out. Love it. It's on the newsroom.tiktok.com. So official TikTok news. Introducing the 200 million TikTok Creator Fund. Amazing. So they will reward the best content creators. However, this fund will be available starting in August 2020 in the US. So you have to be an American content creator if you want to benefit from this fund. But next news, TikTok gets that it's very shaky for TikTok right now. If you follow the news, India totally banned TikTok, Hong Kong, and US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said earlier that he's looking at banning TikTok and other Chinese applications for security reasons. What's the deal here? TikTok is Chinese and supposedly it's spying on you. I got news for you guys. All of those apps, Chinese, French, American, from anywhere, it's a big hole. It's one of my pet peeves, the privacy on the web. This is why I supported the search engine quant.com. It's a big mess. And TikTok is no better, no worse than any other app out there. And this is all public relations. This is all just a big fight between US and China, and TikTok is in the middle. What I know is TikTok is starting to work for marketing. I did a couple of tests, very successful. If you are a good content creator, you need to go on TikTok. Forget what you think about little kids doing silly dances on TikTok. It could work if done right. There is also the app called Byte, supposedly BYTE. Don't confuse it with Bytedance, which is the owner of TikTok. And you have a couple of other apps trying to compete with TikTok. And you also, of course, have Instagram's newsreel, which is competing with TikTok. And you have also YouTube new feature. I spoke about it a couple of weeks ago in the news. Yeah, guys, I don't know what to think. But as far as I know, you are naked on the internet. This is the news for this week. All the links mentioned in this podcast can be found on SEOconspiracy.com if you look out for the post for the search news of week 30 of 2020. Until next time, thanks for watching.